Afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Thiesel, and I'm your host of the Afternoon Drive Home and The Edge on IC Radio. We are your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications. You know something, Jack? That's in North Alabama, so folks can see us there.
Awesome.
And we are also syndicated on television, channel 182, along with Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And take a look at that little link right down there. It's a podcast. So
Awesome.
You'll also be able to find us on there. Jack, you're going to be all over the Kingdom Come now.
I'm telling you, on the World Wide Web, you got to love technology. Helps get
Absolutely. Jack is with the Bibletones. It's so good to have you back on the show again today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Got a lot of good things coming up. You know, you kind of caught me, Donna. A lot of people don't get to see the glorious side of having a Southern Gospel Quartet. Today's Monday, and I just backed the bus in from the weekend. We had a great weekend up in Arkansas and North Mississippi, and you know, things just have to be done between the bank and the post office, and I had some other meetings today that was in another part of the state, so I just kind of coordinated my travel and just now getting home. But it was a great weekend, and if you do what we do, you got to put in the hours and the dedication to make it all work. And a lot of people just don't see that side of it. They just see the stage and the lights and the songs and think you just snap your fingers and make it happen. But it takes a lot. You mean
you don't just jump on the stage and sing? That's all there is to it?
No, not quite. It'd be nice if it was. But, you know, I don't care who you are, if you go see one of those groups and support them, because I personally know what it takes to be a ministry, but that's what you're called to do, and you answer that call. And I've told a lot of people this, Donna, after 2020, I'll never complain about being busy. I will just be stating a fact.
That is so true. Oh, man. You know, I think we had to kind of go through that, you know, and especially in the ministries. What we do here is a ministry as well. And I think sometimes we had to kind of go through a few little things, especially me, because it takes like a roof to fall in on me before I get it sometimes.
You know, I think my friend Gerald Crabb really summed it up as well as anyone in a song. He sent a song out during that time. It's called Come to Jesus Meeting. And I know my mama and daddy told me that we're going to have a come to Jesus meeting when I wasn't doing right, when I was growing up. And when I heard that song, the first thing I did, I picked up the phone and called Gerald and said, you just hit what I think is going on in this country right now on the head with your song. And he told me something, Donna, I don't think I'll ever forget. You know, when you talk about Gerald Crabb, you think about songs like Through the Fire and just so many great songs he has written. But he told me that Come to Jesus Meeting was the only song in his life that he's ever written in 15 minutes.
Wow.
He said the Lord was just dealing with him. He was packing to go do a revival, I think in Texas, and he was putting stuff in his suitcase, and it's just like the Lord would not leave him alone. Till he had to quit and go pick up a pen and paper and stop what he was doing. And 15 minutes later, he has that song. And it's an attention getter. If you go back and listen to the song, it tells you, you know, you need to oil the hinges on your prayer closet door, get down on your knees and talk to the Lord. And he references a lot of things that's going on in the world that would be acceptable. And I just think it was a huge wake-up call. I know it was for me and a lot of other people. So we're glad to be back on the road traveling again.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are too. You know, you're on, you have a lot of followers at our station.
Hey, we creeped up in the top 10. Thank you so much for that with our single.
I'm not a bit surprised.
That's great. Thank you.
I'm not shocked. I'll just have to tell you that. Do you know something? Our listeners are bossy, and they tell us what to do. And they do, because I don't know what I'm doing half the time anyway. And so, so anyway, on every Friday, and you need to, make sure you go to the website. That's icradio.media, inchristradio.media, and you can download the free app. And what happens, what Jack's talking about and what I'm talking about, is you can actually go in and you can suggest songs. And it is not, I've had a few listeners say, well, Donna, we don't want to put any more work on you. That is really, you're doing our work for us. All you've got to do is just pick a song. And so the top 50. And so Jack, is your group, the Bibletones, is constantly in that top 50.
We appreciate you getting our music out there and giving us a platform. It really, really helps.
So your Southern gospel, let's talk about, what is Southern gospel anyway?
Well, we're a little different than you might say a lot of the groups nowadays. We have a rich history in this music. Mm-hmm. Our group started in 1957 by a couple actually moved down from Sand Mountain, Alabama to Mississippi.
Where I'm at right now.
Yeah, right up here in your neck of the woods. Ward was actually part of the Sand Mountain Quartet. Way back then, and sung bass for them, and I think Hobie Lister for a time played piano for them. Mm-hmm. So Ward and Irene moved to Lumberton, Mississippi, which is about 45 minutes from where I live, and Ward became mayor of Lumberton, opened up a furniture factory there, and started the Bibletones. And I tell people every night, we're just blessed to be carrying on that tradition. In 66 years, it was our turn to pick up that baton and keep getting our message and our music out there. So with that being said, when you see the Bibletones, it'll be kind of like when you see the old Southern gospel singing Jubilee back in the 60s, 70s, with my dear friend who I miss and mentor, Les Beasley, and those Florida boys would introduce that every Sunday morning before you go to church. We still dress alike like they did back then. We have matching suits, matching ties, and we sing 4-part harmony, old style quartet singing, and that's what we was raised up on and what the Bibletones have always done, and we're planning on keeping that tradition alive.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. So what part do you sing?
I sing baritone, and they just really, I'm sitting in the bus right now. I just parked it, like I said earlier, getting off the road, but I think they keep me around. I just took the trash out. I drive. They let me sing a little bit, but mainly it's my janitorial skills, I think.
Mm-hmm. So who all's in the group?
Our tenor singer is Danny Jackson, and I tell you what, Danny and I came back together in 2015 when Howard Rutland, who we just had his funeral here probably about a month ago now, passed away. And Howard had the group for 47 years. And I traveled with Howard in the 80s, and then Danny came back in the 90s after I left. So he and I have a history with the group. It's kind of our second go-round. And when Howard called in 2015 and said, if some of you guys don't come back, I'm going to shut it down. And we did not want that to happen. I bought the group from Howard, and Danny's been with me every step of the way since 2015. I love him like a brother. He is a great, he's like me. He's been around it for years. Great source of knowledge. When you want that, hey, what about this? Hey, let's talk about us doing that. He's right there. His advice is spot on. And as far as a tenor singer, he is phenomenal. If you remember your other Alabama neighbor, my friend Jeff Steele, who I used to work with at a radio station in Brandon, Mississippi when I was in college, WRKN, RJH in Jackson. Jeff was a DJ there. He and I worked together, been friends for years. When Jeff had probably his best song, We Want America Back, that stayed number one for so long. Danny was singing tenor with him then. He's on that song. So Danny has a rich history in it, and glad to have him a part of the Bibletones today. My lead singer is Jamie May. Jamie's been with the group now a little over 4 years. This is his first quartet to ever sing with. And I tell you what, he is also a joy to travel with. Jamie, when he came on board, kind of soaked everything up like a sponge from never traveling with a group before, and he has learned things. He has worked very hard. Even in this last project, Donna, he wrote a song that we recorded. Never written songs much, but he dives. He's one of those that just dives in 110% on everything he does. Great singer, and just proud to have him a group as well. And then singing the bass part started with us actually in 2023 in January when we flipped the calendar up. I needed a bass singer and looked around and found one up at the Mississippi Delta in Louisville, Mississippi, Mr. Charlie Lucas. And Charlie's been doing some solo work around. I always wanted to sing bass for a quartet, and we brought Charlie on board, and he's just been a joy to have on board. He is, when you sing with a group that's been together as long as we have, there's been a lot of songs, and he's had to learn a lot of them, and he's worked just as hard as well, and that's the Bibletones.
Well, we love your music. What song are you guys most known for throughout the years?
I think it's what I said earlier, just straight old time quartet singing. We like to do some old songs that people love. Always looking for the new songs, going back and re-recorded some of the old ones. And like I said, we've had probably over 80 members come through the Bibletones. The last time we counted it up through the years, and had a lot of great songwriters come through, and always go back and get original music and keep everything kind of like we've done. And I'm a little old school, Donna. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I kind of like what I cut my teeth on. Is I'm a quartet guy, and glad to be carrying that banner forward in our music today.
You mentioned Jubilee, and you remember Vessel Goodman. She's from this neck of the woods up here. As a matter of fact, Highway 75 is named after her. Yeah,
Les was so smart, and a lot of people don't know this. He actually scored the genius level on IQ test, and he was just always looking for opportunities to get our message out there, and then the Gospel Singing Jubilee just did that. I tell these young people today, it's 827 channels on your television or satellite. Now the web just blows that away. But back when Les got the Jubilee on the air, there was 3 channels, sometimes 4, and one of them was fuzzy. So that's just how many people it reached every Sunday morning. And I still hear people say, we've been on the Gospel Singing Jubilee back then. I tell people all the time, it's hard to find a venue the Bibletones hadn't sung on at some point of time. We're going back, another one, National Quartet Convention this year, Pigeon Forge. We hadn't been on convention in a long time, but scheduled and everything worked this year, and excited about being back up there. It's a week-long event. It's just a big family homecoming. All the groups are there under one roof. We'll sing on Tuesday night this year at NQC, and it's just great to be back a part of that. We do the Memphis Quartet Show in Memphis, all Southern Gospel male quartets. I tell people all the time when I talk about it at concert, now, if you don't like male quartet singing, don't come, because that's all it's going to be there. And it starts on a Wednesday and runs through Saturday. It's the last week of June this year, and we love Memphis. And we've got this event in Laurel that we'll talk about in a minute coming up, 3-day event, Silver Dollar City. We're back there again this year. We're just blessed, as I said earlier, Donna, to be busy.
Absolutely. Something, you were talking about the 2 TV channels back in the day. Yeah. You're looking at the remote control.
I've been there. Yeah.
so my dad would say, go out there and turn the antenna. We're getting a fuzzy thing going on.
Whoa, right there, stop.
I know. Stop it. We're going to miss Bonanza. Stop it. We're going to have to go into a commercial break. Can you believe how time flies?
It flies when you're having fun.
An interview. It sure does. So we're going into a commercial break. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes. Everybody hang tight. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park, and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors, and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain-fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. With everything going on right now, your rest is so important. That's why we're having the biggest MyPillow sale ever. Not only are my bed pillows as low as $19.98, but you can get the best body pillows ever. Regular $89.98, now only $29.98. Take your rest on the go with our Roll and Go Anywhere MyPillows for only $14.98. And we have our new couch and accent pillows. They aren't just for looks. They have MyPillow's patented adjustable fill that gives you that amazing MyPillow comfort. In this economy, you get the best gifts ever for the best prices ever. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you get deep discounts on body, couch, bolster pillows, and so much more, including my original bed pillows for as low as $19.98. Please order now while quantities last.
Okay, we are back. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio. That's in Christ Radio. We are your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182, on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And we also have a podcast. And by the way, it's a podcast and video. So you're going to be able to see this guy right here. We're going to have you up there in just a few minutes, actually. Well, probably give me 24 hours. This will be my first time uploading it, because I promise you it's not going to go as they say. I promise that.
Never does.
You'll be able to find him on there, and then he gets. I guess you guys can put it on your Facebook page or whatever as well. So it's yours to share. Awesome. It's a gift. It's a gift to you guys. Absolutely. Now you're traveling a lot right now. We have a lot of upheaval going on in the country right now. People are confused. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to think. They don't know what. What are people saying out in the real world? Are they worried? Are they concerned, or what?
I don't see it. I see people coming to church again that's loving to have a minister to in song, and they relate to what we sing, and we want to tell them that there is hope in Jesus Christ, and we do that every time we step on the stage. And they don't, Donna, when we're up there singing, that's the last thing on their mind, because you can see it in their faces. And people are traveling again. Our numbers at our concerts and these bigger events are coming back to where they used to be. People are ready for it. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about today, one that's coming up next week in my neck of the woods. It's time for our second annual Southeastern Gospel Fest, and we have a good one lined up for you.
That sounds fun. Now, where's this going to be at?
Well, that's another interesting thing that I think has helped the numbers of this event. It's in Laurel, Mississippi. And if you watch the HGTV show Hometown,
I love Hometown.
Ben and Aaron, they're my neighbors and just great people, great ambassadors for our town. You know, the people that they brought to see the houses and people have just moved here. It would just blow your mind, and it's great for our town. And I made them. I won't say a mistake, but I did something at the first one we had last year down in Bradenton, Florida, at Bill Bailey's church. We were singing Bill's, and I was up there talking about my CDs and my events, and normally I wouldn't announce a singing that's 11 hours away. But, you know, when you get there and you just keep out of repetition talk about things, I mentioned it. And after the singing, I'll never forget it. Lady came back to the table and picked up a flyer and held it up there like that next to her face and said, "You see me?" Said, "If I'm not in the hospital or in the funeral home, I'll be at that singing." Said, "I watch that show every week. I want to come see the town, and if I can hear 3 nights of gospel music like that, I will be there." So she came, and actually we had 7 states represented at the first one last year. One far away is Alaska. They've already booked back for this year.
I don't doubt it. You know, people are tired of the fake stuff. People want real.
Right.
And that couple, I mean, they are just real.
They are. And what you see on television is what you get. Ben's one of the nicest guys you ever meet, has a real heart for our town. He actually ran for city council and got beat before the show. And him and Aaron both are just wanting to revitalize downtown, and they have done that with the show. But even before the show, that was their heart. That's what they were trying to do. And it's all real. What you see is what you get. And honored that they're my neighbors and what they're doing for our little area. It's kind of like a game. You know, when Vonda and I go downtown for something, I'm a tag guy. I look at the tags, you know, when I'm passing them or in a parking lot, in the out-of-state tags, blow you away.
You're seeing a lot of them right now.
A lot of them.
I know back in the day we were known in Boaz, which is right up the road from us, as the outlets. You know, the outlets went before it was cool. Yeah. So we had the outlets, and so we were teenagers growing up, and we would actually count the out-of-state tags coming through there as well. But people are looking for something. They're tired of fake. Yeah. I mean, it's the Kardashians and all that kind of stuff. Nobody wants that. Only a select few, and they seem to be ruling some of the class. But that's real people want to be out there and see real people and real quartets and real singers like you guys.
Well, that's what you're going to get when you come to Southeastern Gospel Fest. This came about, like I said, we had our first one last year. So the year prior, we have a Baptist college called Southeastern Baptist College here in Laurel, and they wanted to do a fundraiser. And the dean came, called Vonda and I, and said, "Did y'all come out here for a meeting?" And he said, "Well, we want to have something here that you'd have to drive to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, to see. And is that possible?" I said, "Absolutely it is." So we went to work on it, and we got here again this year, got a great lineup. Before I tell you about the lineup, though, let me mention Jan Walker, the dean that made that call. She and I were actually texting the morning I was getting on the boat to go on the Singing at Sea cruise back in January, and we were finalizing. We're going to be a 3rd annual Gospel Fest next year. She and I were finalizing all the groups that we were going to have for next year, because I was going to be on the boat with most of them, and I know I was going to be asked. It wasn't final yet, so she and I text. I went back and looked. It was 9:06 in the morning, and then I found out later that evening at 10:30 in the morning she had a massive stroke, and she's still in the hospital. Just keep Jan in your prayers. This was all her vision, and it really surpassed anything. You know, the first year we had about 400 the first night, and to start an event like that, it's just been great. And a lot of people, the college has put a lot of hard work in it. So just pray for Jan and pray for our event, and we're gonna keep it going. Like I said, we've already booked next year, but this year, and it's again April 13th, 14th, and 15th at the First Baptist Church of Laurel. Now that's Vonda and I's home church. Beautiful venue. just right in the heart of downtown, where you see a lot of the shots on the TV show. That's where our church is located. And, for Vonda and I, it's a joy to all these groups that we're bringing in that are friends that we work with all across the country throughout the year, to bring them to our town. I was talking to Rick Francis today. He was singing Youth. Rick and I have been buddies 30-something years. Well, we're a bunch of us meeting next Thursday before we go set up and go eat at Charlie's Catfish in Ellisville, Mississippi. I love Charlie's, and everybody, when you do what we do, and you go out on the road, and you can ask any artist this that you'll interview, Donna, anything we can do to get away from chain restaurants just for something different, we do. The same way. And then when you got somebody like me, or if I was singing in another quartet's backyard, hey, where can we go eat? So we'll go. This Charlie's Catfish. Look out next Thursday. You're gonna have a bunch of gospel artists in there eating some great catfish. But just things, and having them welcome into our hometown, it's great. So Thursday night we're gonna have, which Singing Youth will be there, by the way. Speaking of Rick Francis, and Singing Youth Television is coming. So if you can't make it to Laurel, you can download Singing Youth TV and apply for that if you hadn't yet, and watch the whole Southeastern Gospel Fest in your chair. So we got Singing Youth coming. So Thursday night, we're going to kick it off with the Dixie Echoes. Speaking of the Gospel Singing Jubilee, they were a mainstay on there for years. The Guardians, and we may even let Pat Barker come. That's always up in there with Pat. And then Mark Trammell Quartet, another Alabama neighbor of yours, and Greater Vision from Morristown, Tennessee. So that's how we're kind of kicking it off. And my favorite son-in-law, Josh Franks, which is my only son-in-law, but I try not to do.
He's got to be your favorite.
Help him out. But he's going to MC all 3 nights, or I told him I wouldn't get him a Christmas present. But he's assured me that he's not going to let those guys get out without doing a second half quartet that night. And they don't do a lot of that anymore. But I grew up with the Cathedrals. They were one of my favorite groups, and always, when I was with the Bibletones before in the 80s, got to work with them a lot. They were just the cream of the crop mentors of mine, and love their music, and to see those guys in the second half quartet do some of those old Cathedral songs, that's just right up my alley. So definitely looking forward to that. And that's just a kickoff night. And then Friday night, Don, it just kind of worked out to be family night. With Josh and Ashley Franks, Jeff and Sherry Easter, Karen Peck and New River, and the Hoppers. So if you like female voices in gospel music, they're all right there under one roof with Kim and Karen and Ashley and Sherry. I mean, that's cream of the crop anywhere you go. And then Saturday night, you're going to end it up with just a bunch of old ugly men with Michael Combs, the Bibletones tribute, and those Inspiration Youngins are there running around that night too. So we're super excited about Southeastern Gospel Fest. And go to eventbrite.com, ticket info, go to thebibletones.com. You can get up with me if you have any questions. But it's just going to be a great 3 days, and we're excited about hosting it once again this year.
That sounds like a whole bunch of fun. About a minute, and we're going to have to go. Can you believe how time flies?
I know it.
Goodness, I can't believe this. So now, is there something on Facebook? People could probably just Google it on Facebook.
They can, or go to the Bibletones page. That's the best thing. Southeastern Baptist College has it on their page. But the Bibletones.com or eventbrite.com, you can get your tickets there, or there's a poster on my homepage on the Bibletones.com. Got phone numbers in there. Just come on. We got plenty of tickets left, and we can sit like 600 or 700 in my church. It's going to be a great time. Just come on out, enjoy the scenery, and plus there is a festival going on that weekend too, in conjunction with the Laurel Main Street. They're having a big crawfish festival boil that Saturday. All the shops have their clothes and all outside, big sales, restaurants are opened up. It's just a great time to be in Laurel, Mississippi.
Sounds like it. Hopefully the weather's going to be absolutely awesome.
We're going to keep our fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
But
Jack,
it won't be raining in First Baptist, but there'll be some singing.
There you go. Jack, thank you so much for being on the show. Tell Vonda I said hello.
I'll do it. Thanks for having me, Donna.
And you guys take care.
Will do. Bye-bye.
And thank you for watching The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications. Abundant Television, you can also find us right down there. You can find that podcast. Again, thank you, Jack, for being on the show. It's good to be with you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.